My faceless Instagram account sold for over 6 figures last year. I started building Instagram accounts a few years ago knowing almost nothing and turned it into a business that made well over $250,000 in the last 12 months. If you follow the blueprint that I share with you today, then there's no question in my mind that you'll have similar results and profits if you get started today. So without further ado, let's get into it. Step 1, start an Instagram account. When you're first starting out, you have 2 options. You can either start an Instagram account from scratch, or you can buy an account that already has traction. If you decide to start from scratch, make sure that the account is about a topic that you actually care about. You're going to be spending a lot of time making content about this topic, so it needs to be something that you're actually interested in. If not, you'll probably start to go crazy and lose motivation. I've grown successful accounts in the travel, sports, health, and fitness niches, so you really can't go wrong here. But if you don't feel like starting an account from scratch, there is another option that you should know about. You can buy an existing Instagram account that already has traction. I like to think of Instagram accounts like a piece of digital real estate. Think about it. If you owned an actual piece of property, then you could use it for yourself to live in, you could use it to make money, and the property value usually increases over time when you maintain it well. Similarly, an Instagram account is a digital asset that you can use for yourself personally, you can use it to make money just like renting a house, and it'll grow in value over time when it's well maintained. Obviously, there are some huge benefits to buying an account that already has traction rather than jumping through the hurdles that come along with trying to start an account from scratch. But most people have no idea that this opportunity exists or where they would even go about finding an account for sale. There is a site called FameSwap where you can sometimes find decent opportunities, but I've noticed that most of the accounts on this site have a lot of bots and fake engagement, so I would be pretty cautious about using that. The best method that I've found to buy quality accounts is to just message accounts that you're interested in directly. All you need to do is say something like, "Hey there, nice account. Any chance you'd consider selling your Instagram page?" And if they're interested, then they're gonna get back to you. I'll cover more on the buying and selling process later in this video, but make sure you stick around because I'm gonna run through all my sale numbers and why I turned down a $60,000 offer. Step 2. Download the software that you're going to need to run this account. You'll need a video editor for Reels and a simple design studio to create posts. I'd recommend using Canva for the static posts and Adobe Premiere or CapCut for creating the Reels. Step 3. We need to start making content. But in order to do this effectively, we need to understand how the Instagram algorithm actually works. Because once you understand the algorithm, then you basically have all the cheat codes for winning the game on social media. So here it is. When you first post content, it gets shown to about 75% of your own followers and then another 25% of people who don't follow you but are interested in your niche topic. Then the algorithm will measure your content based on 2 things: watch time and engagement. Watch time is how long someone spends looking at your piece of content, and this is important for Instagram because the longer someone stays scrolling, the more money that they're going to be able to make from running advertisements. When I say engagement, I mean shares, saves, comments, and likes, and I mean that in that order. Instagram's algorithm used to be really simple when all they cared about was likes, but now they care far more about shares and saves because, again, both of those metrics will lead to users consuming more Instagram content and spending more time on their platform, so Instagram can make more money from ads. Seeing a common theme here? The Instagram algorithm is going to push content that has high watch time and solid engagement. And you might be asking yourself, well, what is high watch time and good engagement? Well, lucky for you, I've studied thousands of Instagram post analytics and I've sorted out some of the numbers that you should be aiming for if you want to go viral. Your watch time or audience retention should be at least 75% of the video on average. As you can see with this post of mine that went crazy viral, we got over 90% audience retention. You'll want to remember that every second counts when it comes to creating short form content. Think about it. If your video is 10 seconds and 1 second is wasted or a dead spot, well, that's 10% of your overall video, and it's going to severely impact how Instagram measures your watch time stats. When it comes to engagement, I've noticed that you want to get about 5 saves for every 1,000 impressions. You want to get 3 shares for every 1,000 impressions and at least 1 comment for every 1,000 impressions. As you can see with my own content, every time that I went viral, these metrics were exceeded and in some cases 10x'd them. But what does all this mean to you? The reason that I'm showing you all this is so that while you're creating your own clips and posts, you can try to take advantage of some of these cheat codes and get as much reach as possible. So with all that in mind, let's start creating some viral posts. First, I'm going to show you how to make one of the most viral posts I've ever created using Canva. In fact, this post went so viral that it actually got reshared by Jennifer Aniston. You heard that right, my girl Rachel from Friends reshared a post that I made to her story and 42 million followers, which ended up driving in over 25,000 new followers to my account within 24 hours. So how, and more importantly, why did I make this post? The account that I sold for 6 figures was all about self-care, which has been a pretty trendy topic over the last few years. I'm going to run you through my thinking while making this post so that you can steal my content creation process. The title is bold and catchy, and it gets the viewer to stop and look because we all have goals, and a lot of our goals probably have changed over time. Then in black font, I put some really common goals that a lot of us have when we're young and naive. For example, get married by 30. Then I crossed out the by 30 part in red and wrote in when I feel ready. And I strategically used trendy pastel colors because my niche was mostly female. If you read through the rest of these examples, then you'll notice that they're all extremely relatable. So you can imagine how many people reshared this to their story because they agreed with the message. Again, including my girl Jennifer. And here are some more examples of static posts that go viral so that you can get a sense for what actually works. But that brings us to step 4, which is creating viral reels. Since the rise of TikTok, Instagram has been pushing reels hard in order to compete. This has created a huge window of opportunity for people like you and me to grow an audience faster than ever before. Look at some of these reels that went crazy viral. This reel got almost 1 million likes and 13 million plays on a brand new account that only has 59 total posts. In fact, that reel with 13 million plays was just their 4th post ever. That's crazy. And look, this kid with just 27 posts got 1.2 million views on one of his reels. I even decided to prove how easy this is by testing it out on one of my own new accounts and was able to get over 21 million plays just 2 weeks after starting an account. So let me show you how to create some simple viral reels. One of the most viral reels that I ever created was this video. It got around 16 million plays and over 1 million total likes. And maybe you've even seen it floating around the internet. All I did to edit this video was find this cute footage of cats basking in the sun. Then I added it to my project in CapCut and added this text above it. And boom, 16 million plays, 500,000 shares, and 150,000 saves. When you have a post go viral like this, you get attention from all sorts of brands, celebrities, and companies, which I ended up leveraging to get all sorts of really cool perks. Companies would send me free stuff, and I even got to stay at 5-star luxury hotels. More on that later in the video though. Step 5. Now that we've created our content, it's time to start actually sharing it. But before you click share, here's a quick checklist to run through to understand how viral this content should be. Will people stop and look at this content for a few seconds? Will people want to share it to their story or send it to a friend? Will people want to comment and give their opinion? Will people want to save it for later? And overall, does this provide value and substance? If you can answer yes to all of these, then you have viral content. Make sure to screenshot that or come back to this part of the video because this is my golden formula for Instagram growth, and I promise it works. Okay, so back to step 5. Now we can start posting. A good rule of thumb is to try to post once or twice a day, but always focus on quality instead of quantity. 2 amazing posts per week are way better than 10 shitty ones. Step 6, repeat what is working. Once you find a style or a post that gets some good traction, you know what your audience likes. I noticed that my audience responded really well to static posts and reels with animals, so I doubled down on those and it worked super well. Instagram gives you access to insights like reach, where your traffic is coming from, and how many likes, shares, and saves that you're getting. The most successful creators on Instagram are the people who study these insights and apply what is working to their future content. Step 7 is monetization. All this means pretty much nothing if we can't find a way to make actual money. And I've noticed that a lot of creators really struggle with this, but I've been able to monetize a few accounts using different methods. Now, there are several ways to do this that I've used to make thousands from on different types of accounts, and I'll be going over all of those in future videos, but for today, we can focus on the 2 that I used to monetize the account that I sold for 6 figures. The two main monetization strategies were an app and a 30-day challenge. While I can't share the name of the app in this video because of confidentiality, I can tell you that a lot of Instagram pages drive traffic onto apps very successfully and make a lot of money. When it comes to the 30-day program, I took inspiration from 75 Hard. It's basically a 75-day challenge for people to get into better shape and stay disciplined. Another way that you can monetize is from partnerships. My account made thousands from Fortune 500 companies and startups looking to promote their products. Again, I even discovered how to stay at 5-star luxury hotels for free just by leveraging my Instagram page with a few 100,000 followers. I'll do a deep dive on that in a future video, but that should give you some pretty good inspiration. Once you get some sales, then you have a digital asset that is making money and growing in value. Step 8. Now comes the final step in your journey, which is selling our digital real estate. And this is where you need to do what is best for you. Whenever you sell anything, you should be setting the price that makes sense for you. If you need money desperately, then you're probably going to sell it for a cheaper price than if you had some financial breathing room, right? You're looking for a buyer profile who wants an account like yours and has deep enough pockets that they can pay for it. The biggest account that I sold got its first offer for $25,000 when it had around 150,000 followers. And I should mention that that offer came from a small one-person business. I said no because I knew this was going to increase in value and that I could probably get a lot more once the account was a little bit bigger. Next, I got an offer for around $60,000 when the account was around 275,000 followers. And that offer came from a venture-backed startup. I think it's important to mention that they wanted to use the page to promote their new app. But again, I said no. Then when the page was around 1 million followers, I received an offer from a company who wanted to buy the page and hire me for around $150,000 all in. They were a bigger, well-established company making millions of dollars a year, and they wanted to use the page to promote their new supplements. I'll admit that was pretty enticing, but still ultimately I said no. In the end, I finally sold the page for an amount that made sense for me and my financial situation. And I think that that's a good learning lesson here. While one person might value a digital asset like this at $25,000, someone else might value it at over $100,000. You as the owner just need to find the right buyer rather than be in a rush to try to sell it to the first lowball offer. Unfortunately, there aren't that many people who even know that it's possible to buy and sell Instagram accounts, which is part of the reason that I'm making this video. But my point is that even if you do list something for sale on a site like FameSwap, chances are it's going to take months before you get a legitimate offer from a real buyer. So how can you expedite this process? Well, you can market it to your own audience on your stories, for example, or you can message other big accounts in your niche and let them know that you're open to selling it. They might have someone in their network who would be interested in purchasing it. Any legitimate potential buyer is going to want to see all your engagement stats and how much money you've made from partnerships or your own products. And the last thing I want to mention about the selling process is that there are a lot of shitty people out there. You should never send money or share login credentials with anyone who isn't willing to give you their full name, their personal details, and show that they're legitimate. Because getting scammed for all your hard work would really suck. I usually drop a quick legal contract or use an escrow service as a middleman just to be safe. You're gonna have all sorts of people interested. Coaches, random people looking for a hobby, and even big companies. In fact, one of the accounts that I sold was actually sold to a company that was started in the Stanford Incubator Seed Program. More on that story later on though. This video was a fucking essay to map out, so I really hope it was worth your time, and I'll try to answer any questions below. Thanks as always, and we'll talk soon.